Hello and welcome to the second video on my YouTube channel. Today, we'll be discussing two movies, Venom and Venom Let There Be Carnage. This is a part of a 127-part series where we will be discussing movies. It's a movie bracket. We're going to figure out which one's the best. Now, I'm very excited to show you and tell you how exactly I chose these movies. Well, how I chose them were one of five things. Worldwide box office, franchise films, like the Marvel Cinematic Universe or something like that. Their IMDb popularity, the greatest of all times films on the Rotten Tomato list, and if I just wanted them to be a part of this bracket. And for these two movies, luckily, I just wanted them to be a part of this bracket just because I think they're so much fun. I do enjoy both these movies. Now you might be wondering, how will we choose which one will go on to the next round? Well, as you can see on this board that I did create, it might be a little bit hard to see. So who wins between Venom and Venom Let There Be Carnage? It can either be my pick of which movie I think is better, or it can be the Rotten Tomatoes score, which both of these movies have, and which one's higher. So it could go 2-0 Venom or 2-0 Let There Be Carnage, and then they would advance to the next round. Or it would be the worldwide box office, which one made more money at the box office. All right, let's start talking about these movies. All right, the good. Let's start out with Venom. So the things I really, truly do love about this movie is one of four things. First off, of course, as everyone says, I love the relationship between Eddie and Venom. It's really a perfect relationship. I think if the movie didn't have that, it wouldn't be able to stand up as well. And the relationship, the bantering, it makes sense. I do wish they did dive into more of that Eddie was more disgruntled like he was in Spider-Man 3. But other than that, I really do enjoy the bantering back and forth. It makes sense. Almost, this movie's not really realistic at all. But that's how I would imagine that something between Eddie and Venom in real life would play out. The villain. You know what? I don't understand the hate for this film. Okay. So other than Riot, the actual symbiote, which I don't actually enjoy the symbiote himself, but what I do enjoy is the character. I was watching the Cosmonaut Variety Hour, and he was talking about how he's almost like Elon Musk, and I thought, yeah, it's pretty interesting. And I thought that was pretty funny, and it made sense. But he actually, I think something like that could happen in real life. The villain, it actually had a driving motivation. Some movies nowadays, their villain just wants to conquer the world, but this guy, his motivations actually made sense. He wanted to. It's almost like the Amazing Spider-Man plot with the Lizard. It is basically the Amazing Spider-Man plot with the Lizard. He was just like, hey, we're gonna now make everyone this so that everyone can be better than they actually are, which I find really interesting. And a villain that's basically just trying to add on to the human world and would just change everything. The action. I also see a lot of hate for this. The action I actually find extremely interesting. The goo. They did something like this in Morbius too. And I don't have a lot of great things to say about Morbius, but I do have to say is that the action was really cool. The way that the bodies moved and everything like that. And with Venom, I actually enjoy the goo. I enjoy the almost horror-like elements. I find that really, really cool. And then also the third thing, and the fourth thing, the relationship between him and his wife. Or his girlfriend. And so I don't really understand why this relationship gets so much hate. I think she serves her role in the film. I don't see any more needed screen time that she isn't being given. I think she fills her role perfectly. She is a little bit. I think there could have been more of a shock value with Venom and Anne. It was a bit odd. But yeah, that was the good parts of this film. Now let's go to the okay parts. The CGI sometimes actually looks bad, which is too bad, because I think if the CGI really nailed, they could have really expressed it, but there was also a lot of scenes in the dark. But that didn't hurt my view for the action. I actually enjoyed that most of it was in a darker atmosphere, but for the CGI, it didn't look all that great from what I could see. The end of the world stakes. come on, guys. How many times have they done this? Millions, feels like, the world's gonna end if they don't save the day. That's annoying. That's boring to me. Give me something that's smaller, that's you can feel more with the characters. Maybe a city's gonna get taken over, but in this, the world's gonna end. That's just boring to me. That's okay. That's off to the side, especially for the first movie. Okay, we're just introduced to this character, and now he has to be saving the world. Come on. All right, now let's talk about the not so good parts, the bad parts of the film. The pacing was absolutely atrocious. So we start off with Eddie and Venom, just talking back and forth, where they're barely getting to know each other, and then midway through the movie, they're best friends. They're doing great. Did I miss at least one or two scenes? I need a time jump. I need for the relationship to be explained. I need at least one of those two things. Please elaborate how they just became best friends instantly, and why Venom would want to keep the human race afloat because he likes Eddie. How does he even know Eddie? He's known him for 3 days. Not even. Also, oh my gosh, the line delivery in this film, a lot of parts that just extremely struggled for me. A lot of times the actors would just say something and it would sound like it was coming out of a cartoon. It did not feel like a big blockbuster Venom movie. Let's talk about my overall thoughts. I actually really liked this film. I enjoyed it, had a lot of fun. That's basically what everyone says. But it's not going to blow your socks off. You're not going to be like, oh my gosh, look at the story, look at all of it. It's fun. It's cool. It's a fun film. I actually have on my notes that I'm going to give it a 6.1 out of 10. I'm not. I set a 7.1 out of 10. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to give it a 5.8. 5.8 out of 10 is where I'm going to sit. All right. Let's go talk about Venom. Let there be carnage. Venom, let there be carnage. Let's talk about the good parts about this film. The relationship between Eddie and Venom. This time it worked. The pacing was right. Everything was okay. And except the banter was still there. You had the banter in the first film. Loved it. Of course, it was part of my good parts. But the pacing was off. It was just kept on going back and forth. But the old married couple made sense. The pacing was good on that. I understood. Oh, they're having some conflicts. It was great. I really did enjoy that. And then the action in this film, great. Carnage wrecking shop, of course. Venom and Carnage going at it at the end, of course. Great action, as what you expect. Let's talk about the mid parts. The relationship, Carnage's cool moments. He was okay. If almost bad. Carnage was okay. There's a lot of parts where you just wish Carnage was a better written character, and Carnage was Carnage in the comics, but he just wasn't. He was whatever, and that shouldn't be happening. Carnage is Carnage. The CGI in the film was mid at best. I just wish they would have dumped another $20 million in the CGI budget, just because it was a little bit sloppy. Dark scenes, of course, which, like I said, I don't mind it as much, but this one was more heavily felt of how much they don't want to be with the CGI budget. Put a little more into it. Come on. And then also having Venom at the end of No Way Home, which doesn't really have to deal with it, but Venom should have been way more part of No Way Home. He should have been the final of the Sinister Six, but that didn't happen. And also, why are they making Venom a good guy? Venom should be evil. He should be wanting to kick ass. Eddie Brock has already had so much stuff be terrible for him, but he's like, no, I'm a good guy. You need him to kill. You need him to be the bad Venom. That's the fun Venom. Because if you think about it, that's what happened in Spider-Man 3. I think Topher Grace's Venom is okay, but they can do something, and I don't know if it's already too late to turn Eddie Brock bad. All right. The pacing of this film was also okay. I was very pleased with the pacing. It was, of course, like the film was running. We're going with this film. But it wasn't bad. Not like the first one, where it felt like I was literally missing scenes. The pacing was okay. The bad. Carnage's powers were terrible. Last time I checked, Venom can't hack into computers. Like, that scene was terrible. Take that scene out of the film, I'd probably bump it up a point. But it's just, there was a lot of things with Carnage's powers that just completely took me out of the movie. And also of how pessimistic Venom is also part of the first one. He should be more, I don't know, I kind of want him to be brooding. I want him to think he's the guy. He thinks he's a complete bum all the time, which is kind of funny. But in my opinion, it hurts the movie. Now, Carnage's girlfriend sucks. She is so annoying. She adds really nothing to the film other than to just be really annoying and scream. Oh my gosh. Every time she was on screen, she could not deliver a line. And I'm no actor, okay? But if you're going to be in a high budget movie, you gotta look like you care. She just seemed like she was in a cartoon. She didn't look like she cared at all. And respect, go get the paycheck, man. But oh my gosh, you did not care at all. Also, Woody Harrelson tried to make the Venom, tried to make the Carnage symbiote. Okay, he didn't sell it to me. Everything was okay about Carnage. Great with Eddie and Venom. All right, let's talk about my final score for this film. 4.2 out of 10. Unfortunately, yeah. Just not bad, not good. It's okay. So yeah, now we can actually add this of who wins. It's currently 1-0 Venom. So you can, well, let me color it in so you can see it the whole way. Okay, so it is currently Venom 1, Venom Let There Be Carnage 0. All right, let's go on to the Rotten Tomatoes reviews. Now moving on to Rotten Tomatoes, let's look at 2 reviews for the movie Venom. The fresh review coming from Lonita Cook. It's really silly. Still a lot of fun though. Could not agree anymore. The Rotten review from Grant Watson. Venom blatantly wants you to shut up and consume. Is it really worth pondering whether you should? That's a Rotten review. All right, now it comes in at a 30%. On Rotten Tomatoes, which, hey, that gives Venom Let There Be Carnage some room for them to advance on in the next round. Now let's go on to Venom Let There Be Carnage. Coming from Lawrence Borer, a fresh review. Venom Let There Be Carnage is slight, but it's a reminder that comic book films are still meant to be fun and enthusiastic and entertaining and ridiculous. And a Rotten review. Tom Hardy, if you're reading this, let me know if you need help. You don't need to keep going on with this. That was another review coming in. And it was given a 58% on Rotten Tomatoes. And you know what that means. It gives a 1-1 tie from Venom to Venom Let There Be Carnage. Now it all goes down to the worldwide box office. Hey, I'm not going to sugarcoat this one. Venom made $856.1 million. At the box office. A lot of money. Most people did not think it was going to make that much. And Venom, I'm sorry, you can't see that. And Venom Let There Be Carnage made $506 million. 506. Wow. $0.9 million. I'm going to leave that in because that's hilarious. $0.9 million. Venom wins, so I can just tear this apart. Wow, that went crazy. Alright. Thank you guys for watching. My next video will be the Shawshank Redemption. First, the Jungle Book 2016. That will be coming out July 30th. And hey, please like and subscribe, because I want to keep making videos just like this.